He probably called into the radio show that I hosted. I said, I just want to talk about Oregon. He said, no, we got to talk about Kansas City radio. So, Dan, can you solve the fight internally? Do you know who Nick Wright is, and did you go to a meet and greet at a car dealership to get his autograph?
Meet and greet. I didn't say that.
Go ahead.
Never a meet and greet, but definitely know who Nick is. I used to, when I was working at Union Chapel Elementary School as a PE teacher, when I was driving to and from, I was always listening to him. He was one of the best to do it, man.
Yeah.
You got a little more hair now.
I do have a little more hair.
The same back then.
Are you still you're from the KC area? Are you still a Chiefs fan? And tell us the reasons the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, does anybody else know Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid? It's hard to go against those guys. Forever Chiefs fans.
Right up against Bo Nix, though. The Bo Nix, right in the division.
That's the tough part. That's the tough part. And Justin Herbert, right?
Yeah, a lot of connections.
No, it makes it fun.
All right, real quick before we get to more serious, or I guess this is serious, but you were telling us off the air, about your coaching path and that it almost went high school full time. Now you're one of the greatest college coaches. Did you ever think when you were going through coaching of trying to get on as the third team quality control coach for an NFL team and move up the ranks that way, the way some people have?
Yeah, it's certainly when you're young and ambitious, you're looking for any opportunity you can get. The problem with playing NAIA football is you don't necessarily know a lot of people in football. So my opportunity was at Pitt, and I always said I wanted to live without regret, whatever that opportunity was, and was able to take advantage of the one that I had in front of me.
So you brought up the pros, Bo Nix. You coached him for 2 years. Obviously, you had a lot of faith in him and knew he could play. But he I don't want to say took the league by storm, but he was a lot better than people expected right away. And now there's a lot of hype surrounding him. Do you think it's too much? Or are you not surprised at all by what you've seen and what we may see in the future from him?
Yeah, Bo's success is no surprise to me. He's a professional when he was in college. He's a professional now. And obviously, he comes from a family of a coach, unbelievable family. But this guy came to work every single day. I feel like he treated the last 2 years here at Oregon like he was already in the NFL as far as preparation. He's an unbelievable person. And I'm just glad to see the success coming his way because he's sharp, he's talented. I don't think people realize how athletic Bo is. I think some of the people are starting to recognize that now. And any questions that surrounded Bo, they should be leaving the door soon.
Now, what about another quarterback of yours, Dillon Gabriel, rookie this year in Cleveland? What are your expectations for him this year?
Yeah, Dillon has been a winner everywhere he's been. And unbelievable poise and confidence, and I think he's in a unique situation where there's a lot going on. And the thing that I know about Dillon is he's going to win the hearts of the people in that locker room. He's going to treat everybody with a certain level of respect, whether it's an equipment manager all the way up to a coach. And then he's going to make some throws that impress people. Like it's just what he does. It's what he's done, and he's always been doubted. He's always had a chip on his shoulder, but unbelievable poise and presence from him.
Coach, I have a long question about motivation, and I'll start with this. My wife went to Wisconsin, so we're like a Badgers household, okay? Up and down year for the Badgers, let's say, to be kind. Next thing you know, we're going to beat Oregon in Madison. Jump around comes on, Badgers will roll, knock off Oregon, and it'll be great. House will be great. The Oregon Ducks start treating jump around like it's their theme. Almost cheating, Coach. This is not really allowed. It's not supposed to happen. And I talked to Jeff Schwartz, and you talked about it after the game, where it's like it's a lot of you finding almost like a way to hack the system to motivate your players. Can you talk about maybe this moment in particular and bigger picture, how you keep your players motivated in the mental side of winning?
Yeah, we kind of started the week off talking about Pavlov's dog, and how the mouth would start to water based on the ringing of the bell. And I talked to our team about how when that song comes on, it's going to have the same effect on us. We played it throughout practice, played it leading up to the week. We even talked about it in our pregame meeting. Like when this song comes on, it's going to trigger something in us. What I didn't realize is when it came on, we were going to be down. It's going to be 4th and 9 or 4th and 7. And I was sitting there saying, we're jumping around, and I'm about to look like the biggest idiot known to man if we lose this game. And then Dillon makes an unbelievable pass to Terrence Ferguson right after that moment. We end up pulling ahead and are able to hold on for the win. So it worked out, but that's a small piece of that game. You know, what was really impressive was our players' resilience in that moment.
Coach, I got a couple college football playoff related questions. Because I thought I said on the show last year, I thought you guys were the best team in college football. Obviously, you didn't play your best game in the playoff. When you are rolling the way you had been rolling, and when you know what I mean, you are beating team after team, how much does, and I know it's not as long as it once was, but that layoff between the Big Ten championship game and you get the bye, and then, you know what I mean, your biggest game of the year, how much does that play a part in it? And obviously you always want the bye. You always want to be the top seed, but how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the 4 teams that had a bye, all 4 lost. And I think there is something about staying in rhythm. You know, I think we're in a unique spot in college sports where we're actually trying to juggle keeping bowl games alive and going to a playoff. And the reality in my mind is every other playoff system that exists, when the season's over, next week's the bye, the next week after that's the next game. So I would love that model. I'd love for college football to end a little bit sooner. But those are all excuses. We had an opportunity to go out there and perform on the field. We didn't. But ultimately, I feel like everybody's been doing playoffs for a long time, and all of a sudden college football is trying to figure it out. And it's like really simple. You know, we used to make brackets in dodgeball when I was a PE teacher. You just do it right then and go play the games. So that's what I hope we'll get to at some point in college football. But I think, you know, there's a lot of pieces that control that.
And then a follow-up. And again, this is me talking. You've never made excuses for it. I'm just kind of last year notwithstanding, just bigger picture. Do you think, in addition to maybe changing the way it is scheduled, the way they seed it, because I know the day after the bracket broke, people were simultaneously saying Oregon's the number 1 seed, Oregon has the toughest path, and that's not usually, you know, usually we try to have the opposite happen. Do you think they need to tweak some of that as well?
Yeah, and I think they'll get that right. You know, ultimately you have to beat every team to get to where you want to get. So like you said, no excuses. If we didn't play Ohio State then, we would have had to play them at some point. It would have been great to get in a rhythm first before you play a team like that that's clicking on all cylinders. But yeah, you know, again, the playoff format should really mimic that of every other playoff format, where the seeds are put where they belong.
You guys have only been, Dan, in the Big Ten for 1 year, but is Ohio State or maybe someone else already like a huge rivalry for you guys?
You know, we've got some big rivals. Washington obviously is a huge rival for us. Oregon State. You know, I think as this continues to develop, you know, this league is obviously tremendous. You have the last two national championship teams from this league. I think that speaks volumes. But I think those rivalries will start to grow, and those will become something that's pretty special for, you know, everybody that follows the Big Ten and the sport.
Dan, last 2 years, Heisman candidates, quarterbacks. Tell me what I'm going to see with your new quarterback, Dante Moore.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have some great competition there. Dante's done an unbelievable job. Austin Novosad, Luke Moga, you're going to see a couple guys that are going to be battling for that job in fall camp. What I do know is all of those guys are prepared to go out there and play at a high level. Anytime their number was called this past season, they were able to execute. They've been beneficiaries of being able to watch guys like Bo, watch guys like Dillon perform the last couple of years. And you know, Dante's a guy that can make every throw. Austin's a guy that has a lot of experience in our system. So I'm excited to see what they go do. You know, they've taken on leadership roles with our team. So it's going to be a fun fall camp. It's going to be fun to see those guys work.
One thing that I found fascinating about watching you guys last year was there was the football team, which was great, and then there was what I would call the marketing department, which could have won whatever awards are given out for that. I don't know what they're called, but it was, you guys had like these mini movies that felt there was drama and the score was great. How much of running a program in the modern era is all the coaching stuff you're talking about, motivation, all of that, and how much of it is marketing your program to 17, 18, and now because of the transfer portal, 19 and 20-year-olds to where it seems cool and fun, and how much, like how different is that, even though you're a young man, that's changed from when you first got started at Pitt, 15 years ago?
Yeah, the game's changed a lot, and things that I never dreamed about before as a coach now are things that are reality. But for us, it's about letting great people do what they do best and not getting in the way. Our marketing group, they have unbelievable access to our program, and they do a great job of showing us in a great light. But I always think it's fun as a fan, as a future recruit, to be able to see kind of a backstage pass of what it's like to be an Oregon football player. And that's really the story we were trying to tell. What's the preparation lead up to? I know I talk to my family at at holidays or like July 4th, and they're like, so what exactly do you do on a Tuesday if the game's not till Saturday? Like some of those moments, you get to illustrate what we're doing in the off season, what we're doing during the week in prep for the average fan, and that creates a pretty cool stage for people to see what's happening at Oregon.
I'll be honest with you. Between the explosive offense, the cool jerseys, in this interview, I might become an Oregon guy.
No, you can't.
I might become an
Dan
Oregon.
Lanning's my guy.
I might become an Oregon
First
guy.
of all, hold on, Dan.
I might become an Oregon
He gave
guy.
a whole thing
I
about
know.
how his wife went to Wisconsin.
I didn't go to Wisconsin.
And he went to a school
I'm
that
a
doesn't
free
even have
agent.
football.
We're in the portal era. I'm hopping in the portal. I might
Jump
be an
around, man.
I might be
Jump around.
Dan, thank you very much. Best of luck
Thank
this
you,
year.
Dan.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. And appreciate you listening back in the day.
Appreciate you guys.
Every
Yeah.
listener, appreciate
Hey, go
it.
Dogs.
Thanks for going along with that story, Dan. Not making Nick look bad.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.